Many survivors came forward and told their horrific stories of how as young men they had been trafficked. My name is Sean Reyes. I'm the former Attorney General for the state of Utah. I got involved in the fight really because of a case that came to my office very early into my tenure. Back in 2014, we took over the investigation and then the eventual prosecution of an individual named Victor Reyes. And he had been trafficking young boys for a decade and a half in Utah, in a quiet part of Salt Lake City. And there were so many victims and there was so much devastation. And yet he had been captured and deported multiple times and had come back under different aliases. And he was a narco trafficker and a leader of MS-13 locally. So he was selling drugs and muling those drugs through young boys that he was sexually abusing and selling for sex. We were told by one of the survivors that this individual, Reyes, had taken this young man out into the alleyway with the family pet and had shot the dog and said, if you ever disclose any of what's going on, that this will happen to your siblings or your parents. And so they kept quiet about this for such a long time. It required us negotiating with the federal government, said, please don't just deport him again. We would like to prosecute him under Utah law and put him away forever and a day if we can. With that assurance by our office, many survivors came forward. That case was my introduction really to the depths of the depravity of human trafficking. I had heard about it, I had campaigned and had talked about it, but I don't think I really truly understood how deep and dark this went, how pernicious it was. My hope is that the impact was that it woke people up and helped them see what I was finally seeing, which is that this was and is one of the most horrific human rights abuses of our day. Those who perpetrate these evils and these horrific abuses of human rights, they are well resourced. These are cartels. These are organized crime. These are people in the highest places sometimes with great influence, and they want to keep this in the dark, and we need to shine a light, and it takes the voices and the light, literally the spiritual light, the light that millions of people can shine and bring. When I was in public office, serving 3 terms as the Attorney General, I could directly impact investigations and prosecutions. All the resources that government has are not enough. It has to be the private sector rising up and exercising its might and showing what it's really good at. Now that I'm retired and I'm in the private sector and I'm sitting on boards of companies and advisory boards, and I'm helping to advise family offices and firms and funds and founders and celebrities. This is one of those areas that I think the entire human family can agree upon. That there's no Republicans and Democrats, progressives and conservatives. We're all just human beings, and we are all in this fight together. And if we can take that attitude and bring the resources that we have and help bring that light and hope to more who are suffering, man, that's the miracle that I want to help bring worldwide. My father came from a different country. He escaped a dictator and always told us, whether you have only a little bit of money or a few resources, you always have your faith and the spirit to fight. And he was a great example of that. I'm so honored to have been recognized by University of Central Florida in their Polaris Star Awards. And I was quite surprised and taken aback and extremely humbled. They selected me for the William Wilberforce Award. We are in this fight to hopefully save and rescue a few more of them, their souls and their spirits from this atrocity. It's horrible to think. I think the worst things that can be taken from you are your liberty and your dignity. And unfortunately, human trafficking robs its victims of both of those things.
My name is Rosie Orozco, a former congresswoman from Mexico, who who fought against the cartels and human trafficking. This year, we are launching the Heroes Wanted campaign, shining a light on extraordinary people fighting in the front lines.
So go to kaleido.charity/heroeswanted, watch their stories to help amplify their impact, and vote for the hero who inspires you the most.